I went to jail with Margaret Atwood. It was kind of fun. And asking
wait. Stop. Go back. You said...
Welcome to the Two Authors Podcast, an entertaining chat show hosted by best-selling mystery and thriller authors Douglas Pratt and Nicholas Harvey, in lively, humorous and informative conversation with distinguished guests who share their thoughts and experience about forging a successful author career.
Welcome to this week's show, brought to you as always by Vellum, the absolute most wonderful formatting solution in the whole world.
The bestest.
The bestest of bestest. What's better than bestest?
Fabuloso.
That's what... So weird. Vellum, though. You know what, though? I've got to tell you, the other day I had an issue with Vellum. Not a really issue, because it was just me. It was a me issue, which is not a surprise.
I think we all took it as being that way, don't worry.
Yeah, no worry. No, but I got on there, asked the question. I was like, I'll take a break. And nope, those bastards got to me so fast, I didn't even have time to go pee.
That's the biggest problem with Vellum. That is the problem we have with Vellum.
I was like, I wanted to take a break. No break. I was like, if I can't do anything because I'm at a standstill, then I can take a break. But no, they had to fix it right away. So
halfway through peeing, they were already back with an answer.
It was ridiculous. But no, I love that about them. I just love the fact that it's so fast. It was so quick. They came in. They did not come in and say, you sure are a dumb fuck. Why'd you do it this way? They just came in, told me how to fix it. And I don't remember. It was crazy. So
it's classy of them to keep that chatter amongst themselves and not,
that's
not
right. So
put it
nice
in the email.
I'm sure they're like, you won't believe what this idiot tried to do.
It's Doug again.
They're like, he's got his own line straight here. Why does he keep calling me?
You want to stress test your software? Let Doug and Nick try it.
Let me try it out. That for sure will do it. So also, big thank you to all of our Patreon supporters. If you guys feel you are getting any value from the show, you enjoy listening to us yammer on, you can support us over at patreon.com/the Two Authors Podcast. And just for like $3 a month, you get to keep us fed and watered and full of just energy and vitamins. It's all the good stuff that a couple of podcasters need. So
I feel like we're a couple of the poor folks that are at the intersection of the roads with their tin, little cardboard sign. Sponsor us on Patreon,
more, please.
Yes.
A little more.
Can I have a couple of dollars? Sponsor us on Patreon, please.
We need somebody to do a little background song, like that sad song that PETA does that has Sarah McLachlan sings behind, and you go, "Oh, those poor animals," and this is just me and you, and that's it. So.
We need to say, get the you. We'll write a sad song.
And everybody just turned off this podcast. That was the quickest point. That was the fastest anybody's ever went. Not the uke again. Not the uke.
No, they're going to sing. Stop them.
All right, let's move back on track because we have a really great guest today. We have a New York Times bestselling author, JT Ellison. Yes, it's going to be a fun talk. She's a local Tennessean, so she's not going to chat about local stuff while you're over there in your
summer storms and heat,
or summer storms,
sweating
and
your what's off in the humidity.
Pretty much, yeah. That's what we talk about. That's all we talk about around here. But before we get to talk to her, we have a listener guest from our recent guest.
That'll be a listener question from our recent guest.
A listener question from a listener. Yes. See, I mean, thankfully you're here to pull me back out. But we have a listener question from our recent guest, Tess Gerritsen.
Tess Gerritsen, thank you so much. You're a glutton. You're sticking around to ask us a question, which we're nervous and excited about. What have you got?
I am always curious about how writers handle writer's block and what is it. So you guys tell me what you do.
I've never had writer's block where I just cannot think of a plot or can't think of a concept. I've had block in terms of if I've written myself into a corner or I'm not sure quite how to get from A to B. And my best solution is always to exercise in some way, shape or form. Go for a walk, get on a treadmill, do the elliptical. Normally I'll run off to the gym and get on the elliptical. And 9 times out of 10, something about it is like a palate cleanser and I'm able to come away with an idea. That works for me. What about you, Doug?
Well, I'd say it's kind of similar. I don't really have a lot of writer's block. A lot of what I consider writer's block is procrastination on my part. I mean, I am an Olympic level procrastinator. So, I think that's part. I do sometimes get the same problem where I'm like trying to work out a storyline and I'm trying to figure. And so I do have how do I get my character out of this? I put him in this situation. Should have thought about it before I did that. And so I'll often go for a drive, or I have a lot of grass, so I get on the tractor and cut.
He smokes a lot of grass.
A little bit of that helps too. But when it gets like really like just I'm stuck and I'm like I don't feel like writing, or I'm feeling procrastinated, sometimes I just have to force myself to write the next word, even if it's a shitty word. Just try to just write the next word. Because as long as you write one more word, even if it's really terrible, I'm going to come back and I'm going to edit it out later on. But at least maybe I get my brain and my gears working, and get myself out of that. Because I do like writing, even though I procrastinate. It's just weird. We procrastinate things we love doing. I love writing. Sometimes I'm like, but it takes a little effort. I'm tired afterwards or something like that. So,
what about you, Tess?
Well, I get it with every book because I don't outline. And so I'm always just plunging in and seeing what happens. And the problem I have is like with Nick is I write myself in a corner. I don't know how to get out, or I don't know who the killer is. That's often what happens.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, okay, well, I have all these characters. Which one did it? I don't know why. But yeah, I do the same thing that actually I drive. I think that a long, boring drive is really good for writer's block, and a drive that you know very well, or that just doesn't require your full attention, because there's something about it that shifts your mental energy. You're doing something, but you're relaxed. And that's when your brain goes to work on creative things.
And I need nobody in the car with me, or nobody talking.
Nobody talking. Radio off. Right.
Off. I can do the radio a little bit. No talking. Don't have a conversation with me, or I'm out of it. But I need to be in my zone. So
when you get there, does your relative open the door and go, "Hey, Tess, writer's block again?"
But that aha moment, you feel it when you finally get past that. It's wonderful. It's like, oh, that's what happened. That's how I did it. And that's a great feeling.
Yeah.
Then you wish you took your laptop with you, because you're like an hour and a half from home now and you got to drive all the way back. All right. Brilliant question. Thank you so much. And thanks for sticking around for the extras.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show, JT Ellison. It's so great to have you here today.
Thank you for having me. It's nice to be here.
Yeah, it's nice to have another Tennessean here in the house with
absolutely.
me.
Go
to listen to Nick. Yes, absolutely. To listen to Nick talk about how he's in paradise. Whatever. He's not in Tennessee, so.
Yeah, I'm not in the cool kids club.
No, you don't have an SEC team down there to root for. So.
No, he doesn't.
Go Caymans.
Hey, we have a really mediocre football team.
All right.
Yeah, but you got a great view to go with it. So you're it's really terrible. So, well, JT, let's just kind of get started and kind of tell us a little bit how you got started into writing and publishing. What was what was this, a dream you always had, or is it something you just fell into later on in life?
A little bit of both. I always wrote. When I was a kid, I wrote really bad poetry. I'm actually looking on my wall. I've got a poem that I wrote that won a contest when I was in third grade. That kind of childish, kind of aspirational short stories and poems and stuff. But I did go to school and I got a degree in political management and a degree in creative writing. And my creative writing thesis advisor said I wasn't good enough to get published and would not give me a referral for an MFA program that I wanted to go to. So I quit and I went the other direction. I did the politics route and everything. So I met my husband first night of graduate school, and he was from Nashville, and to Nashville he wanted to return. So after we got married, he had a job with Gannett and moved back here to work for the Tennessean. And I turned into a bad country music song. Our cat died right after we moved here. 3 weeks in, my 19-year-old Siamese died. I kept getting lost. There's a road called Old Hickory that's on all four sides of Nashville. And
and it's not the same road either.
It's not
jumps.
The same road.
Yeah, so you got to turn.
They don't connect. It's really confusing. And I couldn't get a job. I didn't have any friends. And so I finally went to work for a vet. We adopted a new cat. The cat was sick. The vet healed her, and he was looking for somebody. And I thought, all right, I've gotten a master's degree in political management. I should go mop floors at the vet.
I can be a vet's assistant.
I can be a vet tech. This will be great. And the first day I was like, yeah, no, this is not my path. And so I was going to give him a whole week because that was only fair. But when the Wednesday started on Monday, on Wednesday, I picked up a golden retriever and herniated a disc in my back.
Oh,
and
wow.
had to have surgery.
You were on a roll.
I really was. I'd say a bad country music song. And then I, during recovery, went to the library and they gave me a John Sanford book because I really like crime fiction. And I read the first 3 books in the Prey series and went, oh my God, I really want to do this again. This is what I want to do. And I told my husband I'm going to write a book. And he was like, my God, do anything. I don't.
Whatever.
Anything. You are so bored. Just sure, have at it. And I wrote that first paragraph of that first book and I burst into tears because I was home.
Yeah.
I was home.
Very cool.
That was in 2003. I wrote a book that I thought was a book. It was really a novella. And I mailed it all over New York to every editor. And I got a stack of rejections because I had no idea how the industry worked at all. I was such a noob. And then I fell in. I went to a book signing. John Connolly came to Nashville and I went and saw him. I was a huge fan. It was my first author I ever met. And there was a woman there who had a critique group and she said, why aren't you in Sisters in Crime? And I'm like, what is that? And so it just started to build from there. By 2005, I had rewritten the novella into an actual novel and got an agent. And he took the book out and it got rejected by every house. And I got that voice, right? That voice from my thesis advisor. You're not good enough to get published.
Yeah.
But my agent said, no, write me another book. They all had the same complaint about the book, which was really interesting. He said, write me another book. Don't kill the main character at the end. Choose your franchise character. And so I did. I wrote, which is now called All the Pretty Girls. And it came out in 2007 and actually just re-released again last month, which is kind of fun.
Yeah.
20 years. Cool. 20 years.
20 years. Wow. So with it being re-released, I mean, is there some, now that's a huge deal. Like, is there some lessons that you look back on that first one that you now saying, okay, I wish I had done this differently then versus now? Or did you just go, I'm not reading that book ever again because that'd be me. I'd be like, do I have to read my own book again?
So I did some edits on a couple of them because back in the day when we had women writing crime fiction, it was very de rigueur to use the F word like every other word because, The Wire was really big and it made us sound more masculine to the editors. I literally, the second book, 14, I took 14 or more F-bombs out when I did the edit on it because it just didn't need it, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That was really the big change. But I got the rights back, which is really hard to do, but I've been carving the rights back to that series. And so I sold it again to my new publisher. And they're the ones that are bringing this all out. And it's got new covers. And it's just really fun getting a book that is 20 years old into the hands of new readers because all things old are new again right now.
That's
Serial
true.
killers
Yes.
are getting popular in fiction. Everything is so cyclical. It is really neat to see them getting new readers and having new life.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Like you said, everything does kind of turn. So people who have these long careers are going to be like, well, I'm going to be back into serial killers again. So
right.
Before long, we'll be writing vampires again. So that'll be the whole.
Oh, vampires are like an every 5 to 7 year thing.
Oh, yeah. It's a cycle.
Right?
So
Serial killers, everything cycles in and out. So, if you're in this long enough, you're right. You're gonna revisit your earlier work.
That's right. So, well, one of the things we really want to talk to you about is that you seem to like research a lot. Like from what we were reading, you studied forensics, you've worked with the Nashville PD. Somewhere you said you did some autopsies, which Nick said he didn't want any part of, but
I'd be like, done. I'd be laying on the floor.
I thought so too. That was the most wild experience. It was the most spiritual experience of my life, which you wouldn't think, seeing people cut open would be spiritual, but it is. Once you realize that we are all the exact same inside, there is something that makes us who we are. There is a spirit, there is a soul, there is something. And that I discovered that day. It really was fascinating. But I was like, I'm going to pass out or throw up or both. And they said, no, you're not. You're going to be fine. And I'm like, no, I'm not kidding. They're like, well, if you feel faint or, step away, just step back. And I started the day about 15 feet away.
Yeah.
And by the end, I literally had my head in a chest cavity. So it is fascinating. And I was pre-med for a while until I found out about the whole cadaver thing. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I resisted doing the autopsies for a very long time, but I was writing a medical examiner. Yeah, and I was getting things wrong because I hadn't been there, and it changed everything. I mean, all the research I've done has changed the course of the books in ineffable ways. When I first started, the sum total I knew about being a cop was what I'd seen on Law and Order. Yeah. Right. So I call my local homicide office and I said, hey, has Nashville ever had a serial killer? And they're like, why don't you come do a ride along? Because I think they wanted to make sure I wasn't like really auditioning for the job.
Are you a serial killer?
They were like, you're a little too enthusiastic about this.
Yeah. We'll tell you about it, but first we just got to check this box. Have you ever killed anybody?
Get you fingerprinted and get your DNA on file. Yeah,
just in case.
They ended up the homicide detective who answered the phone is a writer. And so he was actually very interested in my process and what I was doing. So we kind of traded trade secrets. And I ended up doing 8 ride-alongs with homicide. I did overnight patrol. My first overnight patrol, we got called out to a stabbing. We were still getting our evening briefing. And we got called to a stabbing. And I'm like, what do I do? And he was like, just stay on my 6. And he got out of the car and I ran out of the car behind him. And there's this guy there and he is dying. And we caught the guy who did it. We got the knife. We did the chain of custody. We did all this. And then we went for hot chicken at 3 a.m. As you apparently do
in Nashville. Yeah.
As you do. And, I'm looking down at my cowboy boots and I've got this guy's blood on my shoes.
Nice.
And it got really real after that. I changed the tenor of my work. I wanted to be sure that I was honoring the spirit of what the police were doing and the horrors that they were dealing with on a daily basis. I mean, our police forces have their problems, but what they do and how they do it is, for the most part, remarkable. And I wanted to honor that. And there's nothing better than when I get somebody who is an expert in any of the books of something that I've written, writing me and saying, you nailed it. That makes my day. That's why I do it.
Just a quick question. So here, and I found this in one of my books, is police procedural, and I've kind of take what is a small town police department. I had to shrink it down a little bit just for character size. I mean, do you find the same instance? Like, anytime you watch any TV show like Law and Order, Castle, whatever, their little police units are very small, and that's not really the way it is. So do you find that you're doing the same thing? You're like, oh, okay, this is a much bigger thing than I can actually portray on page. So I've got to find a way to funnel it into the page.
Absolutely. And the way I did it actually was modeling. We had a cold case unit, and it was a small group of a few detectives. And so I modeled my group on them. And, that helps the interpersonal relationships, but there's also so much that goes on just with bosses and the regulations, and you have to be in uniform this weekend and be downtown, just all the little peccadillos that go along with being a cop. But you have to shrink it down. You have to make it into bite-size groupings.
Keep it interesting, because the bureaucracy would bore.
Oh my God. We would never be able to get away with it, right? If they saw how much paperwork is involved. I mean, we have all these great car chases and foot chases, and they're out detecting. No, 99% of the time they're sitting at their desk typing up a form.
Yeah. And the DNA can come back in like 24 hours, whereas normally it's, it's really going to be like nowadays. Yeah. But
now it can. That's the big problem now for me with the police procedurals, is I basically have to go and relearn everything because it's changed so dramatically.
But so much of that's the one thing that with TV and books, you can't do the realistic time frames on some of it. I mean, DNA's back quicker now, but most of the forensic evidence that gets studied, it's backlisted, it's months, and you can't. The book doesn't work on a timeline like that, right? You can't just have these long pauses where they go back to it. They typically solve cases very quickly, meaning the guy's like the one you ride along. He's the guy holding the knife.
The guy's literally there, or it's going to be months.
Yeah.
And it's a slog, and there's no good accurate representation of what it really
what
is.
really is, yeah.
My big problem, I will confess this to you, I got so used to being able to compress the time frame for the thrillers that now that I'm writing standalones, I can't move the story past a few days or a week. Everything just happens so fast. And in a standalone, it's a completely different pace, right? That's my biggest challenge.
Good problem to have, I guess, for you.
Time pacing. I cannot make time pass. It is so hard to make time pass.
No, that's what people say when they read my books. They're like, oh, this is...
A quick word from this episode's sponsor.
Elizabeth Hunter, 11-time USA Today bestseller, 50-plus books, 3 million sold, brings a hands-on craft class to Author Nation. How the powers your characters wield reveal who they really are. Character, world, and magic that lie to no one. Get your ticket at authornation.live.
Now, back to the show. Let's talk about your Substack. So you have the Creative Edge, and you've got a bunch of resources in there for writers. We'll put a link in the show notes so people can find it over there. So tell us a little bit about it, why you chose Substack as the place to house this, and what people, budding writers, can expect to find there. And I got to know about this brave venture you had of writing a live novel. You wrote it live on your Substack. You're crazy. Tell us about it.
I am crazy. So that's why I ended up at Substack, because I like it when things are pretty. I've known how to code for a long time, so I've always built my own websites and how to blog and all of that. I used to be the Friday blogger in a group blog called Murderati many, many years ago. And I got in that habit of writing a Friday blog. I find that writing about writing helps me write. It's just part of my process. If I can kind of deconstruct what I'm doing whilst doing it, it helps a lot. So I decided, if I'm going to do Substack, it's got to be value added, right? I certainly wasn't planning to charge for it, but then I decided, well, heck, I might as well write a writing book and people can, that can be my subscription. And so I live wrote the process of writing my book Last Scene, which was last year's novel. It took almost 18 months of going through. I realized as I was just kind of setting it up, there were 22 steps in the process of writing a book. And so I kind of laid those out, and here's what I'm going to cover. And I did. And I went through the 22 steps of writing a book and the 7 sub-steps and this thing over here and that thing over there. But I had to learn how to outline to write about outlining. I had to learn how to explain my process and my thinking process, which I'm an organic gardener of a writer. They've got gardeners and architects. I am a gardener. I till my soil and I put my seeds down and I fertilize and water and we see what happens, what comes up and what doesn't. And that's what I work with versus an architect who is going to build that blueprint, before you can't build the house without the blueprint. I'm currently writing a book. My analogy of the book I am currently writing is I am flying the plane as I am still building the ailerons. For it,
there you go.
It's in danger of crashing and burning every second.
We've all been there at some point, I'm sure. Yeah. So, well.
But Last Scene was very fun to just really bring people into the thought process, the actual thought process. This is how I came up with this idea. This is why I made the choice that I made. This is the problem that I'm having. I have to change the characters' names. I have to change the character's age. I got to age them up 10 years because a 24-year-old is a boring character. A 34-year-old has had some life experience and is going to be more fun. And I literally detailed every step of that for 18 months. It is a complete series. I'm putting it together as a book, and I will put it out as a book eventually.
Sure. That's brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really, really a great experience. And I miss actually not having those touchstones of, okay, here's the step that I'm at and being able to explain it to myself as much as to somebody else.
Right.
And I also have my monthly newsletter there on Substack, and I've had that newsletter for 20 years.
It's interesting what you say about, because teaching, I've done some teaching of something completely different in the past. And when you're teaching, you have to think through that process and you think how you have to communicate it to somebody else and get that point across. It really does affect the way you do the same thing yourself. It's a great learning process, right?
It really is, because I'm not a teacher.
I was like, nothing like learning that you've been doing something wrong, even though it's working. We all do things that are not the correct way of doing it, but it works. So when you teach it, you got to learn how to do the proper way of doing it. And then you start, if you're smart, I'm not always smart, but if you're smart, you might pick up on what you're teaching and actually do it. So
I've gone back and reminded myself, hey, you're at this step. What do I normally do at this step? And I'm able, now I've got a record of it. I can go back and say, oh, hey, why don't you try this?
You can take your own class.
I can take my own class. I mean, the book is going to be called Many Ways Up the Mountain, because I think that was the theme of the whole thing, is there is no right way to do this. There's only what works for you and gets you to the finish line.
Yeah, we're big about the whole your mileage may vary idea. Like it could vary. Everybody's got a different way to go as long as you're going. I guess that's about it. So
yeah, I think if somebody's telling you have to do it like this, run.
Yeah. Big red flag every time. If they're like, this is how you must. It's like,
Nick, you always tell me that. And I knew I should have run.
No, it's not you must do it this way. You must not do it that way. There's a difference.
You and my wife, I see. So.
Here's what not to do. You can do, but here's what not to do.
Yeah.
That's the book that Doug and I are going to write. Don't do these things.
Don't do
there
this.
You go.
Yeah. Want to know what to do? Go see someone like JT Ellison. She's much smarter. But don't do these things.
Yes. So let's talk about you have a very bad thing, and you know why. You both are published with those with Thomas and Mercer, correct?
Mm-hmm. And last scene. Yep.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you've launched those. It's a very bad thing launched in 2024. Tell us about the business decision, because that's kind of an important thing for writers to remember. This is a business. What the business decision of going with an Amazon-owned Thomas and Mercer, and how that experience differed from working with one of the more traditional publishers.
It's really funny. So my old publicist at HarperCollins got promoted this morning. I saw it in Publishers Marketplace, and so I sent him a note and congratulated him. And he was like, "I hope they're treating you well." I'm like, "Yeah, this is a whole different world over here on the Amazon side of the fence." And then what I wrote back, I'm like, it is so different, but it is the same. It's publishing, right? Publishing is publishing. You're trying to get your story into the hands of readers, and the publisher is the mechanism for which that happens, whether you're doing it yourself or doing it through Amazon, or if you're at a big five. I've written for everybody but Hachette. That's the only house that I haven't been published by at this point.
Well, they need to get their gear in order.
Yeah, right? Come on, Hachette, get on.
Come on. Shake it loose.
Shake a leg here. And all of them are different. It's a grass is greener kind of scenario, but the problem is the grass tastes the same, right? The grass is greener wherever you aren't, and it tastes exactly the same. So all you can do as an author is write the best damn book you possibly can, write the book they can't ignore, and then, you'll get the readers, and it doesn't matter what the publisher is. Moving from Harper to Amazon, it was a big decision. I mean, it was a really, really big decision, and not one that I took lightly, and it was one that we had discussed for years. Amazon does an incredible job of pulling the levers with a whole new audience of readers who are rabid, and they can read a book a day, and they want a book a day, and they will do anything for it, right? And to have the kind of hybrid that I have, my relationship coming from being a big five author, being in the stores, being in Barnes, being in the indies, getting all of the usual stuff, merging with this digital first. I'm still coming out in hardcover, and I'm still selling a lot of hardcovers. So I'm kind of hybrided in that scenario where other authors might not be, because I was so established before I moved over. But they're incredibly professional. The schedules are absolutely sacrosanct, which for somebody like me who is performance driven and likes deadlines is wonderful, right? There's a little more structure to it. And I'm a structural kind of writer. I like those kinds of things. And they do beautiful work.
Yeah,
I know the readers can't see it, but
no, yeah.
Here's this spectacular book. Oh yeah. The case art and just all of this stuff. They just do really nice work. And I love my editor. She's super smart. She makes my books better. And that to me is 90% of it, and then I just want to get the book into the reader's hands, a price that they're comfortable paying, and sell a lot of them.
Yeah. which is a challenge sometimes right now, getting the price that people want to pay. So,
Well, pricing is interesting, but it's also just this the abundance and the paradox of choice. These poor readers are being inundated right, left, and center with thousands and thousands and thousands of choices. So, being their favorite author, that is a responsibility I take very seriously, and I try very hard to give them the best possible book and experience that I can. That's so far so good.
And those are the ones that are going to buy your book the day it comes out and make you. They always email me
God
and make
bless
me feel
them.
great. Yes, love them.
They're keeping the cat in treats. So
that's right.
That's cool. So you know why it comes out, as we talked about, on August the 25th. So, which is today as we're talking to you, if you're listening to the day that the show drops. So congratulations on the release of your new book, because we can talk in the future. So without giving too much away, tell the listeners a little bit about it. What's the story?
So this is a two-pronged story. It is about a woman named Brooklyn Locke, whose husband surprises her with a trip to Italy and disappears from their connecting flight. And the other side of the story is a woman who sees her sister's murderer from 10 years earlier on a flight, and then he disappears.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So we have to figure out who this guy is and why he has disappeared, and the two women work together to figure this out in some ways. And in some ways, they have all kinds of problems.
As you would imagine.
I can see.
you would imagine.
Great premise.
That's a really good premise. Yeah, that's brilliant. So yeah. So I mean, what was like one of the, as you're writing this, did you have any of those moments like? And I always love hearing what authors say when they come across that moment in their book. They're like, "Ooh, I've got it." And especially as a organic gardening writer, you're writing along trying to figure it out. It's kind of like what we both are kind of like in that same realm, but you write along and something like, "Oh, this is brilliant." Did you have one of those like really just rewarding moments as you're writing? You know why?
Yes. And that was figuring out why he left. I didn't know. I just knew the premise, right? I just knew the premise. I had seen a couple on a plane having a fight, and I was really upset with them because there is this gorgeous, beautiful couple and their two kids, and they're just sniping. They were coming home from the islands, actually, and they're sniping at each other. And I'm like, come on, you got this great life. You just left Aruba. You're tan. Why are you bitching at
Why
each
are you
other?
all complaining?
Yeah, quit complaining. And then I have always had this idea in my mind, watching people in the airport, the guy that says, "Hey, I'm going to go get a water," and then never comes back. It just, and so marrying those two stories. And so I pitched it to my editor, and she was like, write that next. That's yes. And that's as far as we got. I had to figure out why he would leave. Why would he leave those kids? Why would he walk away from this family? Why would he surprise them with this trip to Italy and suddenly disappear?
Just disappear, yeah.
What would make you as a father walk away from your family? It had to be something pretty bad, right? And it took me forever to figure out what it was and why he did it. But when I did, then everything came together. Right.
So and it was a cat, right? It was a cat.
It was a cat. He saw a cat and he followed her out of the airport, and, he adopted her and brought her home, and, happily ever after. Everybody's got a cat.
That's exactly how I lose my wife. Is going to be a random dog comes by. She's going to walk off and follow it. I'm going to look around and where'd she go? Like, I kid you not. We're in England. We just got back from England, and we were in Canterbury. And this guy comes by with his big, beautiful German Shepherd, and Ashley turns around and starts following the dog. I was like, what are you doing?
There she goes. That's me with the cats. Cats find me, on trips and stuff. Yeah. And I'm like, you go to Greece, and look, it's a cat. No, you're supposed to be looking at the Parthenon. Come on.
Also do love that, like, you're on the airplane and you're thinking, like, these people are arguing. They could kill each other. That's the way we thriller writers are always like, wonder how we can make this worse. Oh, it's an argument. What could be worse?
Why are you fighting? You've got everything. Why are you fighting? And I mean, that's what we as crime fiction writers and suspense and all of that, that's what we're doing, right? We're looking behind somebody's closed door. We're curious, and we're trying to open the door to their house and find out what is really going on. And that's, that drives all of my books, being a nosy neighbor.
And now we'll hear from this episode's sponsor.
Hey, it's Jamie Davis, show manager for the Author Nation conference that's coming up here before we know it. I know we're going to get to see each other there. Definitely come up and say hello to get your daily dad joke when you're in Vegas. And with that in mind, what happens when you give a book a camera? Well, it'll definitely take a selfie.
And back to the show. People are always asking, where do you get your stories from? Where do you get your ideas from? Every day, all day long. I mean, it's just a comment here, a movement there, an action there. Someone reacts to something in a certain way. And like, you just register that, right? And carry it.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's no turning it off. There's no turning it off.
As soon as you see it, you're like, oh, that's fat. We were just talking about that with Lisa Gardner when we said, like, I sometimes I'll be watching it and it's like somebody does some crime and I'm like, oh, that's horrible. But how did he get away with it? You know, or, you know,
yeah.
Or, oh, I hope they don't catch him yet, because then it's more interesting. I don't want anybody to die, but at the same time, my story-driven part of me is like, ooh, what's going to happen now? So,
when you were talking about doing the ride-along with the police, I was thinking at the time, I was like, the question you want to ask is, now, how did they get away with that? And the question from their point of view, they're like, why is she asking that?
Right. Like, oh, I know like 90 different ways to murder and dispose of my husband. And, you know, my husband always says, if I go missing, you know.
Yeah, you're going to be the first one to suspect.
Everybody's going to walk in and slap the cuffs on you. That's right away.
You know, clearly, it's always the spouse, especially if the spouse is a mystery writer.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. So also we're going to talk to you a little bit because we're, of course, interested in interviewing people. So you have this great show, Word on Words, which I was actually going to say you were our first Emmy winner, but you guys won a regional Emmy, and we had another
Emmy. Yeah,
that's pretty awesome. So we love interviewing authors. It's been one of our favorite things that we do. So what's one of the most surprising things you've learned from interviewing other authors? You know, something that might have changed how you did your own work or how you approached something.
That I can do it, right? I mean, when they asked me to do it, I said no several times because the whole idea of me being on camera asking, now we're 12 seasons in and it's no big deal, but everybody has their own way up the mountain. Everybody does it different. And you can do something I call chasing OPP, chasing other people's process. And it's really easy to do because it does sound great and it does work for them.
And it works for them. So why as well work for me? Yeah. I'm
interviewing giants in the field, intellectual giants. Margaret Atwood. I went to jail with Margaret Atwood. It was kind of fun. And asking
wait. Stop. Go back. You said
her book. It was for her book, The Heart Goes Last. And we used to shoot. We now shoot back in studio, but we used to shoot on site, thematically linked to the books. So Deborah Harkness came, we went to a winery. Margaret Atwood came, we took her to jail and we taped the show in a jail cell. Yes, you can look it up on wordonwords.org. Just look for Margaret Atwood and you will see me looking like a deer in the headlights with Margaret Atwood in a jail cell. I had to take an Ativan before that one because I'm like terrified of being incarcerated for something I didn't do. It's like a personal scare thing. So yeah, I went to jail with Margaret Atwood and, talking to John Grisham. Grisham's been one of my favorite authors for a really long time, and being able to sit down with him and ask him, point blank, he doesn't need the money. And I said to him, I'm like, why do you do this? You don't need the money. You don't need to come back out on tour after 20 years away. Why are you doing this? And he looked at me and he says, you know why? And I said, I do know why. You love it. And he said, I love it. And that is the thing. I think throughout every interview, I've come away with is we love what we do. We love writing books, whether they're nonfiction or fiction. We love writing them. We love getting them into readers' hands. We love connecting with people. And this is how introverts connect, right? We write books.
I mean, that's the way we are. And we tend to connect like that. And it's like suddenly we're like this community that builds together. One of the things we love about doing this is the fact that it is a community, and we've met, now we've met you, we meet all these wonderful people, and we've met some, like you said, you sit with some people who are just huge. Like I can't imagine sitting with Margaret Atwood. You'd be like, oh, I've met John Grisham before, and he's such a delightful individual. So I can imagine, but really everybody that we've ever talked to on here has always been, it doesn't matter how big they are, whatever. It's such a great community that authors have. And it's kind of neat that we kind of blend it all together like that. So
yeah, no, I agree 100%. It is the coolest thing ever, is this community.
So you have to tell, was anyone, John Grisham, Margaret, anybody really big that you were like, oh, I can't believe I get to meet them and interview them? So
I mean, those two were biggies.
That's pretty big.
that's pretty big. Well, I know. With somebody like, you know.
Yeah, they were, but every season I'm meeting new people and, I get a lot of debut authors.
He's wanting you to say Douglas Pratt.
I was fishing. Yeah, you were. Yeah, you're as bad as my wife. I even pick it up on the hint there. So it's like
the one we're really hoping to get is a guy from Memphis.
Some asshole from Memphis. That's probably Mark Graney, not me. So.
Graney's a good guy. I like him.
Graney's a great guy.
Graney just had, what was I watching? Oh, man. I was just watching something, and on the bookshelf, carefully placed right there, was a Mark Graney.
Widow's Bay.
Widow's Bay.
Widow's Bay.
Yeah.
It was in Widow's Bay.
She's sitting in a little bookshop van or something, and there's a Mark Graney set right there. Really, really nice nod. Yeah, it's really cool.
He is just one of the nicest guys in the industry, too. He really is.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy. Yeah, he's super nice. Yeah. We've got to cross paths with him every now and again here in Memphis, but that's been about it. So it's great. Yeah, Nashville's got you've got a great author scene up there.
We have a huge community. I mean, so many professionals and so many indies, and we all kind of commingle, and it's so much fun.
Yeah, I keep threatening. I'm just like, I'd like to go to, I like Memphis, but I'd like to go to Nashville and do all my writing stuff because it's more creative.
Come for Southern Festival. Come up for Southern Festival.
I do need to. I'm going to be up there for Killer Nashville in a couple of weeks. So I've not done that one before, which is like right here. So it's always kind of.
You will love it. It's really fun. Because of book launch and everything, the timing is great and awful. And we've got some family stuff going on. So I haven't been able to book a lot of stuff because things keep having to be canceled. And I didn't want to have to pull out at the last minute like I've had to do all year long.
Well, it happens that way sometimes. So
sometimes it does.
So let's kind of talk a little bit more about like thrillers and stuff. Like one of the things that we've talked a lot about, we all write thrillers and stuff, and thrillers have kind of gotten shelved next to each other for years, but the kind of the range of what thrillers are has spread out a little bit. So I guess where do you feel most at home in that spectrum? Because you write a little bit of the domestic, then you got some other stuff that gets a little darker. So where do you feel is your sweet spot on that spectrum of your subgenre?
My subgenre.
Subgenre.
I always dig a gothic, right? With a big set piece. That's really fun. And I like these standalones where I like to have multiple points of view. Mysteries are incredibly hard for me. I don't like being stuck in one person's head. Last Scene is a mystery, and I struggled with it. I mean, blatantly, openly online, struggled with telling that story because it was a mystery. I'm using my hands. I'm Italian.
That's okay.
Yeah, that should explain it to anybody who's listening. My hands are all over the place right now. Jazz hands. The whole idea of being able to, manipulate the characters. Very Bad Thing. Columbia Jones, dead author at the beginning of the book. She dies in the beginning of the book. It's not a spoiler. She is the spoke of the center of a wheel, and all the characters are spokes on a wheel, right? All of my books have a shape. And so that one was the wheel. And it worked really, really well because I had 8 points of view, and every single one of them was how they reacted and interacted with this person who was already dead. Those are the most fun for me. When I can hop around and tell bigger stories, it becomes a bigger story, even though it's suspense. I like the thriller. We're trying to stop something bad from happening. The books I did with Catherine Coulter, those were big set piece international thrillers where we're trying to stop the world from ending. But once you save the world, where do you go from there? Right? Then the series is over. You've saved the world and you're done.
Somebody else is going to come along. As
Don't ever save the world.
James Bond has taught us, they've got more people coming to destroy the world. There's always going to be a villain. You got to wait for the next villain. So yeah.
So those are really fun. I mean, I like that I have been afforded the honor of having a career for this long that I can experiment and I can try different genres and I can hop around. Usually I'll do a smaller, more insular book, and then I'll do a bigger and then a smaller and then a bigger, just to keep, me excited about what I'm doing.
This has been fantastic. There's lots of things we didn't get to, so we'll do this again sometime.
Awesome, I would love that.
Have you back on. But we have a couple of questions to wrap up here, and the first one we ask everybody is, What do you think your author's superpower is?
Description. I think I can set a stage pretty well. I've been called cinematic. And that to me is a compliment because I feel like I do a lot of like screenplaying in the book. Like this is the scene that I'm seeing. I'm very, very visual. And so I think that translates.
I like that. That's a fundamental building block.
Setting is huge.
Done well. Yeah.
Setting is huge. It should be a character. It shouldn't just be a name.
I think, we both kind of, he uses the Cayman Islands as a character because it's all flashy and sexy. So,
it's important. And you can,
it's important.
What you're sharing with the reader is the experience that they could have if they were there, right?
Right, absolutely.
And if you're doing it right, then they are experiencing it.
Well, and especially in series, which we both write in series. So it's key to have people feel like they're back home again when they start one of your books. They're coming back to a place that's now familiar to them.
Yeah, nothing better than a reader who's like, "Oh, I've been to that spot. I know exactly what it is," and it makes them feel just brought into
grounded.
It, so,
it grounds them in the story.
Yeah, very much so. Okay, we have another question for you, which is going to be random from our wheel of questions.
Our wheel of questions that we have.
Oh, I love it.
No expense spared. Do you have these kind of props on words on words?
No, but if I ever teach, I do have a Frisbee that has the 7 elemental plots and you get to spin the wheel of plot. So I feel very much at home.
Oh, there we go. So see, we should definitely bring your wheel of plots on and our wheel of questions. We can go together. We should. All right. So what is one food that you hate that everyone else likes?
Tomatoes. Oh, I find them disgusting. But I will eat anything made of tomatoes.
I was going to ask you, do you eat ketchup on your fries?
I like ketchup. I like sauce. I like salsa. But I cannot eat a raw tomato. I will vomit.
Is it a texture thing?
It's texture. It's taste. It is just, there's something about them that is just, I always said they were onomatopoeic, really.
Mine is mushrooms, but kind of for the same thing. Like mine's a texture thing. Like I could be eating along and you could slide a mushroom in there and I don't know about it and I'll just bite into it and I'll be like, oh, yeah, no. I would like to like mushrooms, but no, I just can't. So I don't mind the flavor.
I'm the fussiest eater in the world and I like mushrooms. How's that? Isn't that weird? Because they are something that people.
You either love them or hate them.
Yeah. And I actually love mushrooms but I'm super fussy. So I eat barely any vegetables. I think they're really bad for you. I think the science is wrong. It's just
science is wrong.
I'm going to go with that.
You're a carnivore.
No, he's British. They don't have any vegetables over there anyways.
We do. We have potatoes.
We have peas.
We have peas and potatoes, and we mush the peas. Yeah, well, that will put you off peas for life.
Yeah, and you put gravy on top of it. So, yeah.
I'm the weirdest eater in the world, so food's not my... If I could live on French fries and cheese, I would. I'd be happy.
I mean, you can live on French fries. I used to work in restaurants. That's what was my entire meal was. We had a big cheese thing where we put the cheese dip and we walk by and pick up a fry, dip it and walk. That was how you just ate all night long.
There you go. Lee Child only eats hamburgers and drinks champagne.
Yeah. He smokes a lot of weed though too. So
that too. But yeah, he's pretty single tracked on his food.
That's fair. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. That's good to know. All right, this has been
that makes Nick feel better. He's like, oh, yeah, I'm not the only weird one.
Yeah, and exposing Lee Child, we should probably end on that note. Yep. So, hey, JT, thank you so much. And best of luck with the release of the new book. I'm sure it's going to go ballistic like the last one did. And go out and read it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, JT. That was awesome. I love a good talk like that. But man, that was great.
She's been in a jail cell with Margaret Atwood.
That's what she said. That's crazy.
That was wild. She was just skipping right past that, just like throwing it out there as a mention. I'm like, oh, reel that back in.
Stop that right there. Yeah, it's amazing. Like it's, we should do that. We should have a, on-site in jail. It would be just us in jail probably, but
I was going to say, we just got to call someone up and we
get arrested
the next time and they can come and be outside and then we'll record it all. I was hoping it was going to be some, story of a drunken night out in Nashville and they ended up in jail cell, but still it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, Nashville does bring about some weird things. So you never know. But you know what? It's great. You know, you guys out there looking for information, like her Substack is full of some stuff. I mean, first of all, you get to see a step-by-step process of how you write a novel.
Isn't that crazy? Live writing the whole novel through Substack for 18 months.
A best-selling novel at that. So you might as well, if you're going to look for somebody to follow, you might as well follow somebody who's doing a best-selling novel. That's pretty freaking impressive.
But I also love the point that she made is like, here's how I'm doing it. And here's some different ways. But I was thinking when she was saying that stuff, it's like a menu. What you're doing is just accumulating information to fill out your menu. And then you pick and choose from the menu what works for you, right? So if you don't like mushrooms, Doug, then don't choose the mushrooms, right? You've got something else to choose from.
Yeah, and if you don't like vegetables, you might want to go get some vitamins or something.
Skip straight to dessert.
Straight to dessert. Also, don't forget, her book came out today. If you're listening to this on the day of launch, but it is out.
You know why?
And I do not know why, but she chose today. So, no, You Know Why is available today. So make sure you go get it on Amazon or at your bookstores or wherever. So, be awesome.
Very cool.
Support, and thank you guys for supporting our show over on Patreon. And your kindness helps cover the cost. And if you want to,
thank you.
Join our club over there. Hit us up at patreon.com/the2authors podcast.
All the cool kids.
There's a little chat feature over there. You can chat with us and make comments on the show. So it's always worth doing.
Yep. Ask questions.
Big thanks as always to our friends at Vellum for their support. Thank you so much. Make sure you guys go check them out. Go to tryvellum.com/2authors. Tryvellum.com/2authors to find out more about us. And you'll find
it's in the show notes,
as well as links for our guest information, her Substack and her thing. So make sure you check all that out. And we will be back next week with a new episode of the Two Authors Podcast.
Until next time, be cool to each other.
And fair winds and following seas.
You've been listening to the Two Authors Podcast with Nicholas Harvey and Douglas Pratt. Subscribe on your favorite platform for new shows coming every week.